Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome if you are new. In today's video we're going to be doing this free PDF from Rita Berman. So this was released for her new book, Meine, reise, durch, Asien, so my travels through Asia. And I've decided that we're going to use the Castle Art pencils to do this colour along, and we'll just do one little picture each time. So I'll go ahead and zoom you in and we'll get started. Okay, so the first colour that I'm going to go in with is Grenadine Light, and I'm going to use this to make a start on these little flowers here because they kind of look like the blossom that you get on the trees, so I thought we would do them like that. So I'm just going to use light pressure and just add a colour, or a base coat should I say, rather than a colour. Add a base coat down onto these. Next, using Cherry Pink, I'm going to go ahead and add some shadow to these little flowers. So what I want to do is fill in the centres of them with this pink colour first, so that this is the darkest part right in the middle. So I thought we'd do this because I know not everybody has got the new book yet, so I thought this would be good for everybody to join in with. And then I'm going to use this colour as well to fill in these little vines that's attaching these little flowers together. Next, going in with Bengal Rose, we're going to add some more shade to our little flowers. So I'm just going to go ahead and do a little bit of this colour right in the centre here, just to darken up the centre ever so slightly. So this is just a little bit darker than the first colour that we used. And I'm just sort of focusing it mainly towards the middle, so that we've got the really light colour left on the edges. And I'm just using normal pressure for this part as well, and then just sort of lifting the pressure as you come towards the edge of these little petals. Next, going in with Leaf Green, I'm going to make a start on all of the little leaves that are coming away from these little flowers. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill these in, and I'm just going to use normal pressure for this part so that we get them nice and bright green. Then going in with Castle Green Deep, I'm going to add some shade to these little leaves. So because they're so small, I'm just going to add a tiny little bit of darkness right to the top of each of these little leaves, just to add a little bit of a shadow in there. Next, going in with Burnt Sienna, I'm going to make a start on the tree in the background. So this is going to be our base colour because it's quite a light reddish brown colour. So I'm going to go ahead and use light pressure and just go ahead and fill in all of the trunk of the tree. And then we could go ahead and add some darker colours and some shadows afterwards. I'll do these little branches as well that are coming down, fill them in. Then next I'm going to go in with Sepia to add some shade to our tree. So what I'm going to do here, where she's added these little lines in, I'm just going to go ahead and darken them up just to make them stand out a little bit better. And I'll do the same for these ones up here and just sort of bring them around the tree. And then up here, just darken these ones up and sort of fill in anywhere that you feel like would be a little bit darker. So we'll go ahead and fill that in there. And then I think we'll just add a little bit of shade to these branches. So a little bit of darkness there where it meets the tree. And then I'm just going to add a little bit more darkness on this top edge along here. And all the way down the right hand side. Then I'm going to go back in with burnt sienna and go ahead and fill this in and blend these two colours together. So I'm just using normal pressure for this. Okay, next going back in with Grenadine Light. I'm going to go ahead and make a start on these like fans that are coming off the tree. I think they're supposed to be like leaves, but I want to do them pink so that they match our little flowers down here. But if you guys want to do them green, you know, feel free to go ahead and do that. You could just use the same colours that we used for the leaves down here. But I just wanted to make them pink so that we've got a bit more pink in the picture. So I'm just using light pressure with this and just filling in these little fan shapes. Then I'm going to go in with Bengal Rose and just go ahead and add a little bit more darker pink to these. So what I'll do is I'll start from the bottom here and then just do normal pressure and then start to lift the pressure as you come up towards the edge of the fan. So I'll do the same for all of these. Then going back in with Cherry Pink, I'm just going to go ahead and fill this in right down the bottom here, just in this little circle, just to add a little bit more darker colour right down in the bottom. So I'm just using normal pressure for this. Okay, next taking Scarlet Red, I'm going to make a start on our little lanterns here. So I'm going to start with this one because I want this one to be red. So I'm going to use light pressure and go ahead and add a base coat down to this one so that we can just add in a little bit of colour to work with. So again, I'm just using light pressure. Just go ahead and fill this in. Then taking Vermilion, which is a little bit darker, I'm going to add in some shade. So I'm going to start by darkening it up here where it would be in shadow from this lantern. So I'm just going to use normal pressure and add in a little bit of a shadow all the way around here. And then for this bottom section here, I'm just going to take it to about halfway and then lift the pressure so that we're left with the lighter patch on that edge. So we'll just go ahead and darken up a little bit more of this lantern. And then now I'm going to start to lift the pressure so that we can blend this out nicely. And then the same for this top section. I'm going to darken up the right hand side and then lift the pressure as you come over. I'm going to go back in with Scarlet Red and still using light pressure. Just going to go over the blend line and just add a little bit more colour where we left the lightest pressure. Then going in with our white pencil, I'm going to go ahead and blend this together. So I'm just going to go over where we left the lightest pressure of the red and just go from side to side and blend the two colours together. Next, going in with Lavender Light, I'm going to make a start on this one in the middle. So I want this one to be like a purple colour. So I'm going to use this colour to fill in the top section up here. So I'm just going to use normal pressure and fill this in. And again, for the bottom section, I'm going to fill this in. And then I'm going to use this to fill in a couple of these stripes on here. So I'm just going to use normal pressure again and go ahead and fill in a few of these stripes. I did think about doing these lanterns with like a light shine in them, so almost as if they were lit and they were floating. But because they're hanging from the tree, they're not actually floating. I thought maybe I'll just do it like this and then I can add whatever colours I want to it. I don't have to worry about the light shine in the middle. So that's what I've done. Then taking Mauve Deep 090, which is quite a darker purple, I'm going to fill in the two edge sections with this colour. So again, I'm just using normal pressure for this. And I'm going to use this colour to fill in this bottom section as well. Then going in with Lavender, I'm going to go ahead and fill in these two middle sections. And I'm going to use this to add some shade into this bottom piece here. So I'll just take this to about halfway and then lift the pressure off in the middle. We'll do the same for the top section. And then we'll add a little bit of darkness to the bottom there. And the same for this one. And then just lift the pressure as you come up so it blends out nicely. Do the same for the top, so a little bit more pressure to darken that up. And then lift the pressure off. Then I'll use Mauve Deep 90 to add a little bit of shade to the top of these two. And then again, lift the pressure as you come down. And the same for the bottom, a bit more pressure, and then lift the pressure as you come up. Next, going in with Cobalt Blue, we're going to make a start on this last little lantern here. So I'm going to use this as our base colour, so we're going to have a darker colour for our shade. So I'm just going to use light pressure and go ahead and fill in the lantern with this. So I'm going to avoid the little dragonflies on here and just go ahead and fill in the rest of the lantern. Then using Cobalt Blue Deep, I'm going to add some shade to this. So I'm going to add a little bit of shade on this edge here from where it would be in shadow from this side of this lantern. I'll get my words out eventually today. So just use normal pressure, go ahead and fill in these little bits here. And then here I'm just going to lift the pressure off so that we can blend it out a little bit easier. And then I want to add the shade to this side. So I'm going to add some more harder pressure along this edge here. And then I'm going to start to lift the pressure to blend this out. I'll add a little bit of shade just underneath this top edge. And then we'll go ahead and darken up the right hand side here and lift the pressure. So going back in with Cobalt Blue, I'm going to go ahead and fill in the other side of this and see how it's looking together. Okay, it looks quite similar. So what I'm going to do to be on the safe side is I'm just going to add a little bit more colour with this Cobalt Blue. But I'm not using a lot of pressure here again. Then going back in with our white pencil, I'm going to go ahead and blend it together using the white pencil so that we keep the lighter colour. Next, taking Cobalt Turquoise, I'm going to go ahead and fill in this top section here and the little bottom section as well. And we'll also fill in these little dots that are hanging from the lantern. And I'm going to use this to fill in the dragonfly's wings. Then I'm going to use yellow ochre light and go ahead and fill in the little bodies. And going back in with lavender light, I've just realised I've missed the little tassels coming off of this one. So I'm going to use lavender light to fill in this bottom hanging section here and the middle little detail. And I've just used normal pressure for that. Then I'm going to go back in with lavender. I'll fill in this little dot here and the top and the bottom of these ones. Next, taking permanent green, I'm going to make a start on the background. So I'm going to start by filling in these because this is, I'm guessing, like the tops of trees or mountains. So I'm just going to use light pressure and add this colour down onto here. Then going in with Juniper Green, which is a little bit darker, I'm going to add some shade to these. So I'm just going to go ahead and darken up where she's added these little lines in. So I'll just take it right up to the top edge. And the same here. So I don't want it to be all dark, I just want to add a little bit of texture in. So I'm just going to focus this here on these little lines. And then for this one here, I'm going to darken up along the bottom edge so it looks like it's pushed a little bit further back. We'll add some details on these lines here. And then I'm going to go back in with permanent green, just blend that out. So anywhere where I've added the darker colour, I'm just going to add a little bit more of this colour. And then I'm just going to make sure that I haven't left any white gaps. Next, going in with Cobalt Blue Light, I'm going to make a start on the background. So what I'm going to do is just add this colour in. I'm going to try and avoid the blue one because I don't want to put it too close to that. although this is quite a light blue actually, so it should be okay. So I'm going to go ahead and add some in here and underneath this little fan. And then I'm just going to lift the pressure there. So all of this here can be a bit more harder pressure. And we'll add some in here and this side. And I'm just going to lift the pressure off here, add some underneath this purple one. And then again, I'm going to lift the pressure so that we can blend the next colour in. We'll go ahead and darken up down here as well. So I'll just use normal pressure for this bottom corner. Fill this in. And we'll add some in this bottom corner as well. And then just lift the pressure off. And we'll do the same up here. We'll go ahead and fill in this top section and then lift the pressure off. So next, going in with mauve 093, I'm going to start to see how this is looking if I blend it together. So I'm going to try it on this little section up here. So I'm going to take it over the light pressure of the blue that we left and then start to fill in the white space. Okay, that's looking pretty nice. I'm going to go ahead and fill in around these little fan flowers that we did in pink and fill in this section. So I'll just use normal pressure here and fill that in. Do the same over here. So I'll take it over the light pressure blue that we left. And then go ahead and start bringing this into the rest of the background. Okay, and this is looking pretty good, so I'm just going to continue and fill in the rest of the background with this colour. Okay, so now going in with our Posca pen, we're going to add some highlights to this. So I'm going to go ahead and run this all the way along this edge here where we left our lightest shade, just so that that brings the highlight out a little bit better. And I'll add one up here, and a little one on that edge, and on the bottom edge. Then for this one, I'm going to add some highlights into the middle sections, just so it looks like the light is catching. So for them ones, I've just done them slightly curved that way, and then these ones are straight, and this one I'll just curve slightly in the opposite direction. We'll add one at the top and the bottom of there. Then for this blue one, I'm going to add the highlight in the middle because this is where we left the lighter shade. So I'll just add a couple of lines in there and one on the top and the bottom sections. And then I'm going to go over the little lines that Rita's drawn in from these little lanterns. Just fill in these little dots as well. Add some tiny little highlights on here. And then for this one, I'll just fill in the lines, but not the dots because we've already done them blue. Okay guys, and that's how our first little picture turned out. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next video.